They thought he was just a quiet man with old land nobody cared about. But when the homeowners association came with their polished suits and blueprints, they never imagined the storm they were walking into. Marcus Hill watched them build, watched them tear through his family's soil, dig foundations where his father's garden once bloomed. Neighbors saw him every morning, sitting by his porch with a cup of coffee, calm, silent, waiting. They called it progress. He called it patience. For months, the sound of hammers filled the air, laughter from construction crews echoing over the hills. 96 homes rose like trophies. And through it all, Marcus smiled. They never asked, never checked, never believed someone like him could own land that valuable. But what they didn't know, what Marcus had safely locked in a weathered box, was about to shake the entire HOA to its core. Years before, Marcus's father had bought the land when no one wanted it. Marshy, uneven, and wild. He worked it, drained it, turned it into a place where roots ran deep and every acre carried their name. But when he passed, the paperwork got lost under generations of dust. The county records showed confusion, something the HOA's developers took advantage of. They claimed it was public acquisition, and the bulldozers came rolling in. Marcus tried to tell them, tried to show the history, but they brushed him off. "You'll be compensated," they said with false kindness. But how do you price memories? He decided to let them build, not out of defeat, but out of quiet strategy. He had the deed, signed by the county itself, sealed, and preserved. And when he saw the first family move in, his resolve turned to steel. The day the HOA announced full completion, banners stretched across the entrance. Cameras rolled, speeches echoed about community and progress. Marcus stood at the back, hands folded, eyes steady. When the president of the HOA boasted about the new model of modern living, Marcus walked away, straight to his lawyer's office. The next morning, envelopes arrived at every doorstep. Legal notices. Confusion spread like wildfire. Ownership dispute, the letters read. Court appearance required. Panic replaced pride. The HOA scrambled, but the evidence was too clear. Marcus had ownership of every inch of the land. 96 homes, built on property that was never theirs. And all of it documented, dated, verified, and signed decades before the HOA even existed. In court, the room was silent as the judge flipped through the papers. The HOA's lawyers tried to argue confusion, paperwork errors, corporate filings. Marcus didn't say much, just handed over the original deed. The seal still shimmered faintly under the courtroom lights. When the judge looked up, there was no question left. Marcus Hill owned the land. Every home, every fence, every streetlight stood on his soil. Gasps filled the room. HOA members dropped their pens, homeowners exchanged terrified glances. And Marcus, calm as ever, finally spoke. "You built your homes on my father's land. I let you finish because sometimes, the lesson is worth more than the fight." News spread fast. Cameras swarmed his driveway. Reporters called it the biggest property twist of the decade. Some praised him, others begged for leniency. Families pleaded, asking what would happen next. Marcus didn't want to see anyone homeless. He remembered his father's words, "Land means nothing if you forget your humanity." So instead of revenge, he offered them a deal: pay fair rent to stay or buy back the land directly from him, at a price that valued both justice and mercy. The HOA was dissolved within a week. The same men who ignored him now sat across the table, signing agreements with trembling hands. Months later, the neighborhood changed. People greeted Marcus with respect now, not dismissal. The lawns still shined, but there was something deeper: gratitude, humility. The old man often walked the streets in the evening, greeting children who played under the sunset. He never bragged, never gloated. The land had finally been restored, but more than that, a lesson had been taught: never underestimate quiet strength. When asked how he kept his calm through it all, Marcus would just smile and say, "Patience grows roots deeper than anger." The camera fades on his old farmhouse, standing strong among 96 new homes, a silent reminder that true power never needs to shout.